Hello and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to share with you some of the smallest pieces of gold that I have in my stacker collection. Now, some of you may be surprised of how small these bars and rounds are, and some of you may not be surprised at all because you may own some of these. Now, all these small pieces of gold were purchased in the beginning of my stacker days when I was new to the hobby and I didn't know much about gold or precious metals. I didn't know that there were high premiums on all the smaller stuff. I never knew any of that. What I would do is I would just see a listing of a small bar of gold and I would say, wow, that's pretty affordable. I can buy that and I can own myself a piece of gold. Sometimes buying the smaller pieces of gold is pretty good for newbies and beginners because if you decide that the hobby isn't good for you, then you didn't spend that much money on your hobby. Like I would rather buy a half-gram bar than to buy a full bar of gold and realize that this isn't the hobby for me. But buying the smaller bars are a good lesson for you if you're new to the hobby. It gets your feet wet with gold and silver, and it's a good way to start out. But just don't buy this much because you'll end up spending more money than you should. But let's go ahead over this collection and I'm going to show you some of the pieces that I have today. And yeah, we'll go ahead and start off with these. These are half-gram and these are Bullion exchange. Now what I really like about these is that they're carded and they have a barcode on the back with a serial number. And this really gives you peace of mind that the bar isn't fake. It could still be fake, but as long as you buy from a reputable seller and it has a serial number on the back, I mean, chances are less likely that it is fake. And it's a good affordable way for you to buy silver if you don't have that much money. It's better to buy and obtain some gold than no gold. Because if everyone had no option and they had to buy a full ounce or half ounce, a lot of people probably wouldn't buy precious metals because it's just too expensive. And here we have a PAMP, and these are some of the most recognizable. And I absolutely love these PAMPs. They're really awesome. And then we got these little tiny 1 grain bars. And these are just insanely small. And it says on the back there, certificate of authenticity over 1 grain. I always found that kind of hilarious. And these back in 2011, I believe I paid about $5 for these back in 2011, and you can see the appeal. They look a lot better online, but when you get them in person, I mean, this is how small they are. They're just tiny, and you got to be real careful not to sneeze because you may lose it. Now this right here, this was a company out here in Las Vegas. I'm not sure if they're still operating or not, but they also used to sell these little 1 grain bars in the laminated cards. It got a nice little hologram on the side there, and you turn around on the back, it's got another hologram, gives you some information on the back. And these were the 1 grains, and they also came in 5 grains right there. And those of course were a little bit more expensive, and if my memory serves me right, I believe these ones were about $20 back in the day, but I could be wrong with that. Then we got the little pyramid ones too. These are also 5 grain. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to these up here. Now these ones have always fascinated me because they have a hole up here in a corner, and I'm not really sure if you're supposed to put a ring in there and wear it like a keychain. Very interesting looking bars. Very tiny, small. And then we got these. These are probably the most generic ones I have because there's no brand on it. It's not branded. It's just in a little piece of paper. And it's extremely thin. It's like a little sheet of foil, pretty much. Now, these ones, we're going to get into some better quality. We have the more government issued fractional here. And these are maple leaves, I believe, right? It's so small I can't even see it. I don't have my glasses with me, but yeah, these are really tiny maple leaves here. But the cool thing is they are government issued. Now these ones right here are a little bit bigger. Now I think my favorite ones are these pandas. These are Chinese pandas. And these are I believe these are the smallest Chinese pandas that they have. Absolutely love these pandas. I love the silver pandas too. They're really nice. And my personal favorite are the American 1/10 gold. These things are really awesome. And if you're going to have a small gold coin like this, I would definitely recommend a capsule because they just make it a lot easier to hold. And again, these are more expensive than the half or 1 ounce, but at least they are government issued, and that's definitely a plus. All right, now up here we have pesos. Now these used to be one of the greatest ways to obtain gold. These things were small, but they were very cheap. I absolutely love the Mexican peso. These things are amazing. And usually the bullion companies do give you some really good deals with these. They're very easy to obtain, affordable, and a good way to obtain gold, especially if you're on a low budget. And the premiums aren't too bad on these compared to the private fractionalized bars and rounds. And right here we have a bigger peso. These ones are the one size up from what we just looked at. And they do got different sized pesos, gold pesos. But these ones that I'm showing you are some of the smallest ones. And lastly, I want to show you these right here. These are a lot of fun. These are Alaskan gold nuggets. Now, I did bring these to a shop and they were checked out. And I believe he said the purity was about 22 karat on these Alaskan gold nuggets. And these are pretty small, but very cool to have. Definitely a conversational piece. I always love busting these out and showing people because, I mean, these are the real deal. These are gold nuggets. This is where it starts. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's video. Go ahead and let me know down in the comment section below. Do you have fractional gold? Do you have small pieces of gold like this? What do you have in your collection? Go ahead and let us know down below. Let's get that conversation started. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I appreciate it. See you in the next one. Peace.